Yes, please. You are group T35, isn't it?
Yes, madam.
Okay, please start now.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh to Puan Nurul Aziah binti Ahmad and Dr. Nur Ain Ayuni binti Sabri. We are from Group T35. We present our research, the factors affecting tourist revisit intention to Kelantan. So these are our group members. The first one is myself, Nur Aizah binti Razali. Second is Muhammad Qaridin bin Abdul Halim, Nur Anis Nabiha binti Rasli, and Nur Anisa binti Muhammad Sobri. So for the introduction, the purpose of this study to examine the factor affecting tourist revisit intention to Kelantan. Next is problem statement. The first problem statement is attitude. Attitude is one of the most popular variables in the field of consumer behavior that tries to guess the behavior of consumer choice. This is measure of how tourists and visitors experience the environment based on their preferences related to cultural, social, and environmental aspects. For the second problem statement is food. Essentially limited to food safety and hygiene issues, choosing the best food or traveling for food is a normal practice that has been applied by humans since ancient times till now. So, halal food recognition is the most concerning issue in Kelantan, since the majority of the Kelantanese is Muslim. The third problem statement is satisfaction. This is the this is the others problem that can achieve the standard of satisfaction for the tourists to revisit the place. It can be the quality services, image of place, or the infrastructure. So for the research objective, the first one of research objective is to examine the relationship between attitude and tourist revisit intention to Kelantan. Second is to examine the relationship between food and tourist revisit intention to Kelantan. And the last for research objective is to examine the relationship between satisfactions and tourist revisit intention to Kelantan. So next, I will pass to the next presenter, Anis Nabiha.
Okay, next is research question. First research question is what is the relationship between attitude and tourist revisit intention to Kelantan? Second is what is the relationship between food and tourist revisit intention to Kelantan? Thirdly is what is the relationship between satisfaction and tourist revisit intention to Kelantan? Next. Next is significance of the study. This study theoretically and practically highlight the factors that influence the desire of tourists to visit Kelantan. The current study generally aims to examine the relationship between factors that influence the intention to tourists to Kelantan. Next, I will pass to the next presenter.
So I will continue with literature review. This is the first for independent variables, attitude. Attitude is one of the most commonly utilized variables of consumer behavior that attempts to predict and estimate the customer decisions. According to Cambrol 2019, the attitudes will be measured based on the intention to return, suggest and protect the place. Second is food. These variables play an important role in influencing tourists' food intake, with local cuisine serving as an attraction that might entice tourists to visit a certain location. Tourists would prefer to look for local genuine cuisine options to satisfy their taste buds when visiting a destination, which creates a positive experience for them and adds value to their destination selections according to Su Chai and Sulaika 2020. So next, Farudin will continue our presentation.
Okay, I will continue with the satisfaction. According to Handijani 2016, tourist satisfaction is a critical aim for the tourism business just as it is for the other sector like in tourism sector. For example, entertainment and tourism activities are progressively influence the tourist behavior while making the decisions to create a remarkable experience. For the dependent variables, which is the revisit intention, according to Jani and Hans 2011, revisit intention is the indicator for the tourist destination with higher behavioral intentions, which become the crucial component for tourist destination loyalty by equaling the satisfaction and attitude, which implying the tourist which will impact the destination attachment. Continue with our recommendation. So I will continue with the conceptual framework. This is our conceptual framework, which is the attitude, food, satisfaction. While for the dependent variable is tourist revisit intention. In here, there is a hypothesis which in addition, there are three hypotheses that are come out, which is the significant with the independent variables with the dependent variables, which is from the attitude with with the dependent variable that is tourist revisit intention to Kelantan.
Okay, next is methodology. Research design. The study design used is a descriptive study method. A quantitative approach will use. Next is population. This research will select the tourists who visit Kelantan before. Next is sample size. The sample size for this study are 318 respondents. Next.
Sampling method. Sampling is a method for choosing a sample community from the population sample. For this research, the researchers will use convenience sampling, which was under the non-probability technique. Convenience sampling was the sampling that more refers to the collection of the information from the target population. By using the sampling, researchers can collect data from the target population easily. Next is data collection. In this study, the information was collected by using online questionnaire. Online questionnaire will distribute randomly to the tourists who are visiting Kelantan. The questionnaire will be delegated at several popular destination points for tourists, especially in Kelantan. Respondents will be selected based on several characteristics. To make sure the respondents selected are qualified to all the criteria, researchers mark the purpose of the research questionnaire before the answer. Next, I will pass to Anis.
Next is research instrumentation. They have three parts, part A, part B, and part C. Part A is develop the demographic background. Part B is related to independent variable. Part C is related to dependent variable. We have choose on 5 Likert scale will be choose in this study. Next.
Okay, for data analysis, the researcher used the computer software which is Statistical Programmers for Social Science, that is SPSS. The use of SPSS is to calculate the data in the descriptive analysis, reliability test, and also person correlation. Next, I will pass to Aiza. For this part, I take the highest result from our questionnaire in every demographic section. So the first one is gender. Gender is more higher than male. And then age. Age is 8 to 25 years is the highest. Then status single. Ethnicity Malay. For occupation is student. Education is in degree. And the last one is frequency of travelling to Kelantan in a year. Once a year only that people often go to Kelantan.
So I will continue to about the reliability analysis. Based on the rules of thumb for Combach alpha coefficient, 0.9 show result of the excellent while 0.8 result for the goods. So based on the table that show in front of you, the variable is 4, which is the attitude, food satisfaction, and travel intentions. In here, we had get the data which is for satisfaction and travel intention show the reliable which is 0.9 and 0.926, while for the 0.875 and 0.887 for the attitude and food show the result for the good. Next, the Pearson correlation. For the Pearson correlation is a correlation for a method that determines the connection between the constant continuous variables. The correlation show that attitude and satisfaction show the high correlation, which is stated the data 0.718 and 0.812, while for the food variables is 0.658, which show the moderate correlation between the variables and the dependent variables. Okay, I pass to the next presenter.
Next is discussion based on research question. The finding of this study show that there are several factors that influence the intention of tourists to return to Kelantan. The desire of tourists to return to Kelantan through several factors, which is attitude, food, and satisfaction. We definitely love Kelantan and make Kelantan a place to them to travel. This return visit of tourists to Kelantan is more popular among women than men. Kelantan will be one of the places to attract many tourists who want to come and visit, regardless of whether they are local or foreigners. Next.
Okay, for the recommendation, the first recommendation is change exciting data collection method to use qualitative. It provides more stable and efficient information for research in finding about the factor of tourist revisit intention. Then, the future researchers can decide to focus on international tourists based on the research. It is to help to know the factors that affect the tourist revisit intention to Kelantan. Finally, these findings of the study are also crucial for future research by using the method of mixing the approach. As a result, there will be more data information and how to upgrade the result. Next, the conclusion for our group is this study examined the factor affecting tourist revisit intention to Kelantan, particularly Malaysians who have already travelled to Kelantan and those who will visit Kelantan in the future. Overall, the researchers have successfully proven the efficiency of the study with regard to the factor that attract local tourists to visit Kelantan. That's all from our group.
Okay, thank you very much. Group T35. I will start first. I would like to ask you about your sample. Your sample is among tourists, isn't it? Or do you want to specifically focus only among youth travelers?
It is for our research is for the tourists. basically for the tourists.
So any type of tourist.
Yes, who any type of tourists who are going revisit again uh, to Kelantan.
Okay, if that's the case, I think you need to change your statement at mana I think tadi you mention about young people just now, young people and must be tourist tadi. Tak betul? Because I thought you are only focused on youth travelers. I tak perasan kan memang ada you mention kan young people.
Data collection.
Data collection. Data collection. Tak juga yang sebab my set copy I ni dia tulis yang people ni punya lama slide yang lama ke?
Yeah. For this slide, this is the newest one. That one is the the old one.
Okay, okay. So now memang you focus on tourist in general lah kan? Okay.
Yes.
So you memang select data ni bagi online ke ataupun you pergi ke mana-mana tourist attraction di Kelantan?
Just online.
Online. Okay, so kita apa? My second question is about your variable, the attitude, food, and also the satisfaction. Okay, you didn't mention here. Did you adapt or adopt from any authors and theories, or did it come from your own, or how? Those three variables again, the attitude, food, and satisfaction.
These three variables, we research in internet and we do some research to make sure this variable is acceptable.
So you have the journal that focus on these three variables as well, and then you
Yes, correct.
followed but you didn't mention the authors and the sources. So at least you need to give credit lah from where you get the variables. Okay, alright. So Dr. Aini, do you have anything to ask?
Okay, so firstly, like Madam Aziyah mentioned just now, your respondent, your topic is on revisit Kelantan, but your respondent is can you go to your descriptive result, demographic result. Here, okay. So you can see that your frequent travelling ni is once. Sebab you're focusing on revisiting, but mostly it's not relate ataupun it's not reflect to the topic. The topic revisiting, but your result is not revisiting. And then finally you conclude that the most of them are revisit Kelantan. It's a bit contradict there. Maybe you just put some more sentence to support your result lah. Not while you reporting your result tu, make sure that your result is synchronized with your hypothesis, with your result, and also with the conclusion. As I can see, it's synchronized, but there's a term like I can see that your respondent is a tourist visit Kelantan, and I can see that it's your that what Madam Azaz asked you. age is it used? Because your majority here is 18 to 25 years. So please careful when you elaborating your result. Careful in elaborating your result. Okay, and then and you mentioned just now is descriptive analysis, but your hypothesis is relationship. I think you need to check it again. Is it a descriptive analysis? Because in the methodology you mentioned that you're going to analyze it using descriptive analysis, but your hypothesis is to see the relationship between the independent variable and the dependent variable. Check it again, what types of analysis that you use. Okay. And then you are mentioned in your methodology as well, you are using convenience sampling. Okay, you are using convenience sampling, and you are mentioned that there are several characteristics to choose your respondent. Is it the convenience sampling as well or not? What are the characteristics that you looking for? Okay. Is there any characteristic that you didn't mention here, but maybe in your report, I don't know. You didn't mention in your slide, you didn't mention in your presentation, but maybe in your report, I don't know. But if there is a characteristic, please mention. Since Madam Azia already asked just now, what characteristic, but you said no. But you mentioned there's a several characteristic.
Ya, betul. I rasa you still referring to the old version of your slide tu. So sebab dia tak tally lah. Kan, so you kena check one by one make sure nanti masa PPTA tu punya presentation nanti kita repeat the same thing. Okay, check that.
Okay, thank you.
Alright, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you.